Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read through for Tower of God Urek Mazino Chapter 48. I am so excited because I really have been liking the spinoff a lot, actually. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I loved the Edwan and Mago fight, and then after that, I was kinda on the stuff we got with Rue and Neo at first, but I've kind of come around on that, and I don't love it. I don't think it's the best thing ever, but I like it a lot more than I originally did. And then from that, we started off with the Urek and Obrion stuff, and I was again starting off on that. I was like, okay, this is starting a little weak, but it's gotten better and better, and as we've learned more and more information, I've liked the reveals and the information we've gotten. So I think this has been very good. And one last thing before I start reading, kind of a weird place for an ORV update, but I was planning to record both Tower of God and ORV this morning, and ORV has changed its screen to "we will be back." So it's going to be back eventually, and people had said that the Fast Pass is set for months from now. They changed the Fast Pass. Oh, hey, you're getting this in a few weeks. Never mind, you're getting it months from now. And I had heard, okay, they're gonna hold the last 3 chapters hostage. And I was like, there's no way they're doing that. That makes no sense whatsoever. So the last 3 episodes of season 1 are going to be held hostage. I don't remember for how long. Maybe it's not actually that long. Maybe I can wait. I do not remember how long it said, because if it said that, hold on, I need to look at this. Okay, yeah, it said in 100 some days. I was about to say, because if it said not until June something, I would have probably been like, June something that's like months from now. Brother, it's June 9th as I'm recording this. So it doesn't feel like we're that late into the year. So I was like, okay, hold on. Maybe I could have misread it there. But no, it says not for hundreds of days will we be getting the last 3 chapters of season 1. And I thought there is no way that's possible, that they would just hold it hostage like that. That's just another stupid, greedy decision that's going to push people away from reading officially, because already so many people don't read any of this stuff officially because of things like Fast Pass being so far behind the Korean. And this is stuff that applies to Tower of God as well. Fast Pass being so far behind, the translation not always being the best for some of their series. Like, that has already pushed so many people, perhaps even the majority of people, away from reading officially, even though reading officially is free. And yet we have more of these decisions that are just horrible, that's going to push, again, me as maybe another person. I will need some time to decide. That's my update on ORV. I'll need some time to decide if I'm going to wait. I'm probably not going to. Or if I'm just going to go somewhere, read the last 3 chapters and post the last 3 chapters. But right now, it's 11 a.m. and I just want to read Tower of God. So for today, and I have like 26, technically like 36 anime reviews to do. I have so many other things I want to read. So right now I have so many other things to think about. ORV can wait, and I will make a decision at some point. Maybe later this week, maybe sometime next week, who knows when, but at some point I will probably make the decision to be like, okay, time to read these last 3. I probably will not wait like 200 days for them. Just being super for real, because that is such a terrible thing to do to your readers. Like, Webtoon's just king of horrible decisions. But either way, with that update out of the way, sorry if it took a little bit long, let's actually get into reading Tower of God. We start off with, "Dear friend, if you've dulled so much that you can no longer cut through the darkness, then you can die with it." And he throws the Shinsu bomb down onto the Emperor. The whole Emperor stuff, still not entirely clear. Like, they were doing battle charges and stuff, even though it looked like modern day, so this is not the Earth that we know, even though I think maybe you should have just made Earth the Earth that we know. Maybe you could have made him the Emperor of a different planet or something, because now we're like, what's he the Emperor of? The Emperor of Korea? They don't have an Emperor. The Emperor of Earth? The Emperor of Humanity? The Emperor of the Universe? What is he the Emperor of? We have the Hour of Light Part 2. We have a bunch of booming as he lays down attacks. And it's waking Edwan. What is it now? And now we have Mago Princess, I guess we could call her. And Chungum. Urek. Something must have enraged the light. The whole castle shaking even where Evelyn's group is. What's happening up there? Hey Neo, you asked us to follow you here. The least you could do is give us an explanation. I apologize. If I explained this to you, we wouldn't be able to take the test again. What? The truth will be revealed soon enough. Please just give it some time. God, stop speaking in riddles. I guess that if they knew ahead of time, then the test wouldn't work, because it would be like, you already know the secret to the test, which is to not wish for your own selfish wishes or it'll backfire on you. Who knows how it would know that, but it's just a weird primordial castle test. Jean, begin your prayer. Got it. Please hear my prayer and bless me with your presence to lift the curse that's been placed upon us. I have heard your wish. Oh, is the Ark again? Child, are you the ones who seek to lift this girl's curse? Curse? What are you talking about? Evelyn? Neo. Yes, that's correct. Hey, why would you say that? We're in the middle of our test. Very well. I shall heed your prayers. If you only pray for the girl's curse to be lifted for the next 5 minutes, I will grant your wish. However, if even one of you wishes for something else, I shall grant their wish instead. And is it going to backfire again because they won't tell Evelyn the rules? That's what we were told at the beginning of this game. I am Ark the Savior. Those who pray to me shall find salvation. Now, pray. So, you wonder how much power does Ark actually have? Like, isn't it just a hologram in the castle as part of the test, so it's not real to begin with? But then again, it was real enough to curse people. So, I again think it's kind of like the God of Guardians that we saw a little bit. Like the original one that we don't know if it was made by the workshop or not. That was with V and the others. I feel like it's kind of like that, since it's so early nobody knows who made it. Now we're back to Urek. If you put your faith in humans, you'll always find yourself disappointed. Shall we make a bet, Urek? And we have a bunch of the purple darkness people crawling out. And they're blown away by the light. In the end, they'll prioritize their own wishes. That's just what humans do. Easy to forget that Obrion became a Power Rangers villain last chapter. So what? I don't really care what they end up doing. That's their choice. And he's finger gun Shinsu blast firing these creatures. Blowing them all away. And forming a gun with his hands to fire. The Emperor is still up. Tank that attack. Urek blocks a sword with his arm. It's a test designed to work against humans. Any human will choose themselves. When it truly matters, that's human nature. Just like what we did with you. It sounds like there's a misunderstanding here. If you think I have high expectations for humans, you're wrong. I just hate the way you think. You tempt humans first, then mock them for falling for your tricks. Your slimy, underhanded tactics make me sick. True. That's why I want to beat you up. To me, those who have lost their light and the humans who fall for their temptation are all the same. In the grand scheme of things, you're all nothing but dust. It's none of your business how they choose to live, you nasty speck of dust. And he smiles. He's going to grant my wish? He's lying to us. That woman said the exact same thing. There's no way it'd be that easy. My wish, what I want, more than anything else. If Rue's curse is what I think it is, if he might be erased from this world, I want his curse to be Evelyn? Evelyn, and they're calling out to her. Are you alright? Rue. I'll be just fine. Okay. And this is showing how people can overcome what they want for the sake of others. So good. And again, like Urek was saying, it's totally true that while humans are selfish, they do selfish things all the time. It's not like they can't do good, selfless things for others. But the way that Mago and Obrion, and presumably the others who we haven't met yet, set things up, they set them up to fail from the beginning. You can't just be like, oh, humans always fail, when you set them up to fail from the start. Also, I love Dodo Queen here in the background. Best character. Very well. I've heard your prayers. Jean, your wish has been granted. And then they're all surprised. And I wonder if this does mean if there's some way that Neo and Rue can continue up the tower, or if they just, because of the situation they're in, will cease to exist after this. We have Urek flying out and then stancing up. And Obrion flying out. We have a light coming from over. And they have made it all the way out, away from the castle. We have a light coming out from where the castle is, I guess. Huh? The island. Congratulations, Jean. You and the other islanders will find salvation. Thank you. And they vanish. Because again, they should be just like, they didn't exist to begin with. They're just part of the test. And also, the random islanders were created by Mago's power. To like feed Mago's awakening for some reason. And then Rue was created by the towers. None of them are real. I mean, depending on what you count as real. But a lot of people we know were in that castle, so a little bit concerning seeing this panel. So, the cursed island's gone now. They must have made the right wish this time. So I was wrong. It's good that I didn't make that bet. Then he looks to Urek. I thought you said you don't have high expectations for humans, Urek. He smiles. I don't. But still. This is pretty satisfying. Well, it's time to finish this. I've been having trouble using my full strength in this tower, but thanks to what you said, I finally understand. If Shinsu's the power of the new axis, then even my power would have to be affected. But you see, I'm a hard worker, and I've been learning how to use Shinsu too. Hey, new axis, I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna borrow your powers for a bit. It's time to infuse Shinsu with my light. Okay, so never mind. I was saying that they had adapted and were using Shinsu, so I guess they were just light beams, and now it's Shinsu with the light beams? So they weren't using Shinsu this whole time? This isn't just an Inferno punch. This one's. And we see the others looking on. We have Rohan Berber, who I question, like, if we're including Berber, why did we not carry along the sniper teammate, or Bichon, or Blue? Because Berber was not developed in all of this, very much, at all. We've got Pedri and Gisli, and Heidi and Dasa. Edwan. He brings together the Shinsu even stronger. This is Super Inferno Punch. And his naming scheme. Very cool. Seems like he's blowing away Obrion. Thanks, puppy. Man, because he was the one who taught him to use Shinsu. Alright, pretty nice chapter. just big, shiny beam punch stuff, and the stuff with the Shinsu and Shining One powers is confusing. But, like, I'm not as much into that stuff, but generally it was good. Like, we got to have the stuff with, I don't have much faith in humans, but it's nice seeing that people can come together and right their wrongs, make a good decision, be selfless for the sake of others. After this, we'll have to see what happened to Neo and Rue, if they do get to make it out of this. But it seems like we kind of just finished our floor 2 test, which means we get to move on, and I know that this still has like at least a dozen or so more chapters, which means that we get to continue. I don't know if we're going to get a time, like, please don't spoil me on these things, if we're going to get a time skip and then we get another arc much later on in the climb, or if we just go straight on from floor 2. I assume that we'll kind of get a time skip and we'll be a bit later on in the climb. But I'm excited, and if Obrion is dead, if he's taken out, then that's 1 of 6 down, 5 remaining. Technically, Mago is within the princess. I guess we also have to see how that works out, but I think what's going to happen, I think the princess might just absorb Mago. The princess is like, I'm used to being an empty vessel, and Mago just becomes one of the many spirits, whatever that means, within her. So that could be cool. So the princess will just... We know that throughout the tower, there are a bunch of these people that, you know, there are regular Tower-born people. There are irregulars. There are also family head members, which are kind of like partial irregulars. They get to, you know, bend the rules in some way. They get to be, by default, a little extra strong in some ways. But what I was talking about is something I've often brought up, the people who are just rule breakers. They're not irregulars, but they break the rules of the tower. People like White, people like Calavan, I guess Yama and Yasracha would maybe also count, but most of the Slayers seem to be that way. So you have, you know, regulars, or even rankers that were once regulars, people that are confined to the tower's rules, and you have irregulars who the tower's rules don't affect them whatsoever. But then you have special people who, at least in some way, can break the tower's rules. The people like Kelhelm and Evankel, who have the ancients within them, or whatever, the native ones within them, they can do it. You've got Calavan, who could do it because of the essence of bravery, essence of nothingness. You have White, who could do it because of his soul powers. I assume maybe spells work that way too. Maybe spells break the rules of the tower because of the things that we were able to see Luzlek able to do. And Sachi was also a spell user, so I guess that would put Sachi in that camp. But that would make the princess another person like that, I guess, because they would have someone who's kind of somewhat an irregular within them, plus we don't know what other kind of powers and spirits they have within them, and it would make sense for a Princess of Zahard, especially if that princess ends up being a high ranker in the present time of Tower of God. It would make sense that she would be somebody else that has these special rule-breaking powers. But either way, it was a very good chapter, very fun. I've been liking the spinoff a lot lately, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Either way, though, that is it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter, my thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more Tower of God, much more on the channel. If you want to help support the channel by sharing around or dropping a super thanks, it's appreciated. If you want to help support the channel by becoming a member or patron, you get your name at the end of videos and get One Piece bingo early. Just hit join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you so much to people who are already members and patrons. Thank you to Chosen Regulars Evan Hawley and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls Dee Van and Maru, Jerryden Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element Pater de Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.